Ricky Freezer had always been a troubled soul. He had spent years in an insane asylum after being convicted of a heinous crime. The doctors had tried everything to cure him, but nothing had worked. He had been deemed too dangerous to be released into the world again, and so he had been locked up for years. But one day, Ricky somehow managed to escape from the asylum. He fled into the woods, and no one knew where he had gone. The police searched for him, but he seemed to have vanished without a trace. Weeks went by, and people started to forget about Ricky. They assumed he had either died in the woods or had fled to another state. But then something strange happened. Ricky's cabin in the woods, the one he had inherited from his family, was found to be occupied. The local sheriff decided to investigate. When he arrived at the cabin, he noticed that the door was slightly ajar. He pushed it open and stepped inside. The first thing he noticed was the smell. It was the stench of death. The sheriff cautiously made his way through the cabin, his gun drawn. As he walked into the living room, he saw a figure sitting in the corner. It was Ricky Freezer. Ricky looked different. His eyes were glazed over, and his skin was a sickly pale color. The sheriff tried to talk to him, but Ricky didn't respond. Suddenly, Ricky lunged at the sheriff, grabbing him by the throat. The sheriff fought back, but he was no match for Ricky's strength. Ricky overpowered him and killed him. And then, he disappeared into the woods once again. After that day, no one ever saw Ricky Freezer again. But some say that if you wander too deep into the woods, you might come across his cabin. And if you're really unlucky, you might come face to face with the escaped inmate himself, still trapped in his own madness.